After months of searching, we finally bought land. I thought buying the land would be the hardest part. It wasn't. Now we have permits, demolition, utilities, drainage, and an entire house to build from scratch. This is day one. Coming up to... We looked at quite a few properties. Some were beautiful but too expensive. Some had restrictions. Some simply didn't feel right. Then we drove onto this property and everything started to feel different. Unrestricted, land cleared, utilities already there, enough acreage. We saw all the possibilities. Yeah. Property like 1,000. So this land is 6.8 acres, and baby, it needs so much work, so much work. I only can go so far on the land because it's not that safe.
Don't come out here.
Huh?
It's not an even land.
You said don't come out?
Right, it's kind of not even. It's a lot of hills.
Okay. So my husband is out there trying to find his way, and look how dark it's getting. But I'm gonna just keep tapping on what I can. I got this little stick here. Going in there. Let's tear it down. Water wells. What is this?
Is that bees? Sound like bees. I think they came from outside the house. Stay where you at for right now. You probably disturbed them in the house.
Bees came out of nowhere, and I'm talking about an insane amount of bees. I'm over here trying to snack on some peanuts. I'm on some cashews, and child, I start hearing. I look up, they just everywhere, and I thank God they didn't sting me, but geez. I'm doing a follow-up to us purchasing land. One of the properties that I've shown you all, we have decided to make an offer on it. We make an offer this morning, and we're going to see if it is accepted. We're on full price. The price was about $25,000 more than what the price is now. And we had already planned to offer less than what the listing price was at the time. And so since they've dropped it $25,000, we said, let's go ahead and let's make that offer because it is below what we were going to actually offer. So that works great. I have found myself liking the property. Well, I like the property. I've always liked the property. It is a fixer-upper, and that's just what works with our budget. When you think about how much, sorry, oh, you guys can't see me. When you think about like how much money it costs to improve raw land. I don't know about y'all, but I like to have my money to do things. I like to do events and entertain myself. I like to go on vacation and travel. So it was always ideal for us to find property that was less than our budget. And, you know, we finally found something. The only thing that I had to get acclimated with was it being further than what I had anticipated. And I don't think it's really further. It's just that it's pretty rural right there. I put it like that. It's rural. And I've had some time to kind of think about it since we first went to look at the property. We've gone 3 times now, I think. Yeah, 3 times. And we've been getting quotes as to, you know, clearing the land. There's a home that needs to be demoed and structures and things taken away. We need to be able to see the ground. We're going to do soil testing. We're going to do a topography survey. We already have a survey from the previous buyers. They just got a fresh survey. It actually was a company that purchased the land from some heirs. And so yeah, we've been waiting for quotes and stuff like that. And then when we make the offer, we're going to ask for an option period. And then with the option period, what that does is allows us to do our due diligence and continue to get more estimates for certain things that we see on the property and everything. But once we get that, then we will say, yay, we're going to move forward. And then we're going to, it will close. So that's how the process goes. You can do more things. Typically, you do a lot more when you're buying a residential home compared to land. But with land, the grass is kind of high. So kind of doing the topography, and we're going to reach out and see if we can get the well inspectors and the septic tank inspectors out there. But it's more information on this property that is kind of not safe. The house has bees living in it and stuff. So, you know, we've commissioned a bee removal service that we're going to use and all that other kind of stuff. But even with all of that, it's still lower than what it still gives us room, like in our budget, because of the price point. So, you know, I had to kind of come to the realization of like, you know what, this is a country home. So it doesn't have to be next door to the mall. And a lot of the properties that we went to look at, the land that were proximity to city, the houses were so on top of each other. And we really didn't want that. Once I came back to my senses, I was like, you know what? We know that we want to develop the land in a very particular way. I know that I want to do like, you know, a shooting range as well. Well, not a range, but like be able to practice shooting and, you know, keep those skills sharp. We don't want anyone telling us, hey, you can't shoot out here. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and we are doing a cash offer. And in that process, I just want to update you all on this or inform you on this because I didn't know this, that when you do an option period, you do have to pay for that option period. So we're going to make our offer. We're going to ask for 14 days of an option to give us 14 days to be able to do what we can do. And in that, we'll say, hey, we're going to pay X amount of dollars for these 14 days. That goes to the seller. We do not get that refunded to us. And also, we're going to put up earnest money to show that we're serious about purchasing the home. You know, and so our realtor has given us the numbers that she thinks that we should do, and we said, okay, that's fine, you know, we have that, we'll go ahead and do it. And so yeah, that's where we are with that. Step 1, or is it step 2? I don't know. Wait, okay, y'all, so we are here at the land again. We're just doing a walkthrough and showing family what we are purchasing. Yeah. And I finally got a video of a little bit of inside of the property that we are demolishing. It's gonna be demo, it's gonna be a wrap on that.
And then got the outrun the bees.
I'm trying. Going off in there then. If I ain't going with her, she talk too much. I'm trying to creep. She thinks she a gangster. You feel back of the feet, look at them flying all around. They didn't make the holes in the floor. You just walk around like you all willy-nilly and stuff. You ain't looking down.
Don't go in that room right there.
You better not light and keep your voice down. Trying to see, yeah, may not be worth it. Maybe. You can be torn down.
Today, we have submitted our escrow for the offer on our country land. So now we have an option period of 14 days to do our due diligence. I don't know what that is. We can't have that. And then we have, after that, we'll close in 14 days after that. So it's a 30-day process, basically. Or, yeah, 14 days and then 16 days, whatever. But so we are closing on the 30th. It's getting close now, and today is the 1st of June. June 1st, we're closing on June 30th. And to do our due diligence for this property is we like it regardless. It's in our price point. Some of the stuff that we wanted to have done takes a lot more time than we actually have. But we did obtain all of our estimates, and we obtained our estimates and kind of how the process of what we want to do in the beginning. And so we'll start with that. And then we just started looking at if we're gonna do like a custom built home. I don't know what all these crumbs are on my face. A custom built home, or do like a modular home or something like that. I don't know. Because some of these modular homes look actually pretty okay. But at the same time, I do have concern about like build and stuff. So we'll see. Because I do need my kitchen to be a chef's kitchen. I know a lot of people will probably say, why do you need a chef's kitchen? Because I have a chef's kitchen in my house. Maybe I'll show y'all. I'll insert that in just to show you all that, yes, I have a chef's kitchen, and I need that to continue. I have a really large pantry, or I have a large pantry, but going into our new property, I would like for everything to kind of be in one. So I almost need like a pantry the size of a bedroom. Some people will probably say, why? I do. I need to be able to fit 2 refrigerators and all of my groceries and, all of that stuff. So that is very, very important. It can be a long pantry as long as it can fit comfortably what I need to fit. But I don't want to go like to the garage and all that type of stuff, or to the laundry room to go get meats and everything. I want everything accessible. And we have 2 prep refrigerators in addition to our actual refrigerator that we have in the house. And then we're also gonna have like a deep freezer, because there we put like ice and stuff like that when we have like certain parties and stuff. So I feel like my request is a bit abnormal, but I must have, like, that is an absolute must. And then everything else, I can kind of work with, going from there. But that's where we are now. We just submitted escrow, and it's time to do our due diligence. So right now what I'm going to do is I have like a set of questions that I want to call the county to kind of ask them about, to see what's really going on there. And then I'm just going to finish kind of putting our file together. That's about it. But all right. So I've done a little work today regarding the house. I looked up the environmental health department. That's who I had to call in regards to wastewater septic requirements and stuff. And they actually gave me a call back and let me know that I called the right place. They were the first people that I needed to talk to regarding installing a septic or a well and all of that stuff. But the property already has this stuff on there, but it may not really be of use to us because we are going to be building a new home on the land. So, but nonetheless, he said that once we get a licensed installer, the licensed installer takes care of the permitting process, but he gave me an explanation of just how the process goes, so I'm gonna share it with y'all. He said I'll submit an application. It costs whatever the fee is. It was a couple $100, $250 for a permit, and then in that application it'll list all the technical information as far as what brand the septic is, the model, how deep it will be, the more structure. And he said the more structure you put on the property, the more space we'll need for the septic. And then once it's approved and paid for, then we take that approval and go to the floodplain department. They handle building permits. That's also where the engineering department is. And they will issue us a permit to build. And then the installer will have to have an engineer review the drawing of the permits, or review the drawings, I guess, of where they will place the septic and all that stuff. So this information is good for us to know because, you know, we're kind of deciding if we're going to do a custom home build, or will we do like a modular home. And really with the custom home build, you know, we could let them kind of handle all of this stuff, but it's just good to know. I'm a project manager by trade, so just knowing the steps in the process, that way I know, you know, who to keep up with, like where we at in the process. So yeah, but I just wanted to give you all an update on that, and then after that, you know, we'll see. So I think first step is probably figuring out, you know, securing the build. Like, is it custom or will we go modular? Oh, and also because on the property there are like 3 dilapidated structures. There's a home that is inhabitable. You can't even enter it. We actually have to get a bee removal company to come in to remove the bees, and that is going to cost us, I think, $725 to even demo the home that's currently there. Because when I went out there, child, I had the bees, baby. The bees was coming to get me. And I didn't even realize that I had walked up to the home to just kind of look at the electrical panel, and I'm just, you know, looking around and stuff, and I go back to the car to go get me some cashews. Child, I had, and I'm like, what is that? Not even realizing, even over my head, that it was just a swarm of bees. I'm talking about thousands of bees. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I look up. I'm not recognizing that they're even bees. I'm just like, what is that? And my husband was like, stay where you are. He's like, those birds? I was like, no, I'm not birds. And then he said, oh, them bees. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. And typically I would run away from something like that, but I didn't. I'm glad I did not. I put my little cashews back up in the car, baby, and was just like, I don't know what's going on. And he's like, were you by the house? I was like, yeah, I was by the house, you know, taking video. Because we were doing a thorough walkthrough of the property, and it was the grass is too high for me to walk through, even with my boots on. So he was like, just stay back there, stay, you know, closer to the house, and just take, you know, videos and footage of that. Man, they didn't sting me. They didn't bother me. And I guess it's because I did not run. So, you know, crisis averted. So we definitely have to have the bees removed before we can even have our clearing company who's going to come in, and they're going to demo the property. They're going to clear everything. They're going to demo all of the structures, clear. They're going to clear, you know, all the trash. They're going to burn what they can burn. And then they're actually going to, you know, so we can see the ground. We can't see the ground the way we would like to be able to see the ground right now. We're not going to do any grading at the moment. So this is just strictly for clearing. And I think our quote is $15,000. So, you know, you guys do with that with you may, but I know some people really like numbers, and maybe I'll do a video at another time. We're doing just strictly cost as we go along, but this is where we are right now. And to be continued. We closed on the property on Tuesday, baby, and that's a conversation in itself. that we had a surprise closing and had no clue that we were actually closing when they were asking us to sign certain paperwork and stuff. But we'll have a conversation about that. So we're on the land, and I'm about to actually go into this abandoned house here. We got bees removed, and I'm gonna see if I can go now, because last time the bees came out pretty wild, y'all. There are wasps and stuff around here, so I'm still trying to be careful. Let's see. Creepy crawlers. Should put a mask on. That's the kitchen. What that is over there? I'm too scared to even walk. Big old porch though, I like that. Big porch. That's what I want. See how wide the porch is? You can sit out here, the rain could be coming down. Bedrooms over there. I don't know what this is. I ain't going too far around there. I ain't going even long. This is the kitchen. It's a whole back porch back here. So going back there in the back. It's actually a big size house. The smell is pretty awful.
If you've ever dreamed about buying land or building a
All
home,
that stuff, so.
you're in the right place. I'm documenting everything, the reality behind it all. Buying the land was honestly the easy part. Now comes the engineering, demolition, permits, designing every room, budgeting, making hundreds of decisions, and eventually building the home we've dreamed about. I'll see you in the next one.